you go to the question.
So we live now? Hello, Bobby, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think we're live now anyway.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chit Chats with United Capital. And Chit Chats is brought to you by United Capital to discuss, important issues that we need to know about. And United Capital is a leading investment bank in Nigeria and in Africa, actually. And we provide services ranging from investment banking to asset management to trusteeship and securities. And you can find us on social media at United Capital PLC on Instagram, at United Cap on Twitter, that's at UNITEDCAP on Twitter. You can also find us on LinkedIn and Facebook. Now, today we'll be talking about old stocks and new money. And with me, I have the awesome, the solid guy, Chibuzor Odita. Chibuzor Odita is a securities trader at United Capital. And if I tell you that he's the rainmaker, he knows how to make that money. That's the guy, and he's always talking about investments. I've learned so much from him, and I'm very sure that we're going to learn a lot from him as well. And with you and Ayobami Omole, I'm going to be the host for today. I'm an equity research analyst at United Capital PLC. I cover the banking sector, but today is all about Chibuzor, and we're going to learn so much from him. So let's get started. Chibuzor, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you doing? You look good anyway. You look very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So how's everything been for you? How's the pandemic been? I can see that it seems like you're in the office. Are you back at work?
Yeah, I'm back at work. So, because of the corona pandemic thing, the company has to do this structure to be able to reduce the risk of us getting the virus. So we are on a 2-week shift right now. So I'm at work right now, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right. So talking about the pandemic, how has the pandemic affected the stock market?
All right, so to be very honest, right, we know what's happening right now, happening in just not the stock market in Nigeria, but stock markets around the world. That's a global market. To be very honest, it's very natural that when things like this happen, a situation is meant to go really, really into a crisis. I would actually create by when the virus started in March,
Yeah.
20 this year, March, it was really not a situation whereby people didn't understand what was going on. It was, according to bloodbath, where investors naturally didn't see a prospect of what they were doing at that point in time, because they had a situation whereby even if they were going to be buying stocks at a particular time, they had to be very, very cautious. So with that, having that pandemic in March, it wasn't really, really viable. And then people lost some money in March. But you can see now that things are becoming to have a prospect. Hello, Bam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right,
yes, I can hear you,
to be sure you can hear me because, okay. Okay. So to be sure that people were not going to be badly beaten by all the stocks in which we're going to be doing that, the pandemic between March and now had to be a different ball game. So what that means is you can see there is more of a recovery from April, May, June, because people are becoming to live with what's happening now called the new normal. But then it's natural that companies, as they are listed on the stock exchange, that means companies which are going to be trading as stocks, won't really give that great prospect in which they have been doing last year. But as at now, companies are basically recovering. So in the pandemic, although it started really bad, but things are getting really recovered in the stock markets.
Okay. So thinking about like the uncertainty that you have in the stock market, for example, how the pandemic shuts down everything. Yeah. What should be the incentive to invest in stock? I mean, as a newcomer or as someone that is just trying to begin their investment journey, or they've been investing in other asset classes before, let's say like treasury bills, fixed income, what would be the incentive to invest in stock markets? Because I mean, something can just happen and everything crashes. Like, what's the incentive?
Sorry, hold on. I want to be sure because I'm just getting a message that they can't hear me. So I want to be very, very sure if everyone can hear me. I don't know. But Ibam, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know if they can hear me from their end, but I just want to be sure they can hear me vividly, so we don't go back and forth.
Can you move closer to your laptop?
Okay, fine.
Speak louder.
All right, fine. That's okay. You can hear me perfectly clear, right?
Yes, I can hear you, Chibuzor.
All right, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so give me a minute, please. Okay, that's fine. Thanks. Okay, so you were saying something. Could you repeat that question because of I want to ensure everybody could hear me. That's why I have to speak louder as well.
Okay, so I was saying that, given that the stock market can be very volatile, and we just spoke about the pandemic and how the pandemic affected the market because everybody was just flying away from the market. I was saying that what's the incentive for people to invest in stocks? I already have investments in mutual funds, in fixed income, other fixed income securities, in treasury bills, etc. What should be the incentive for me to invest in stock since it is very volatile and I can lose my money?
Yeah, but okay, now I would like to start answering this question by just a 5-letter word. It's called value. For me, I always tell people investing in this market called the stock market, although we know the market is a market that doesn't give great return, but investing in the stock market, you need to understand the various elements of value. Value, what I mean by value is originally before this year, we never knew, last year, Bami, if you got me correctly, nobody knew there was ever going to be any pandemic 2020. But what I'm saying is you probably before you used to buy a pen for 1,000 naira, right? And then all of a sudden, the next year comes 2020, and then you see the value of a pen that originally it's 1,000 naira drops to 500 naira. You then know there's a problem. Why? Because you see that the value in which people have as of now is being dropped because of what's happening based on the pandemic. Now, an incentive, I already have investing in mutual funds, investing in the bonds market, investing in the fixed income market is a great start and a great investment as well. But based on an investment in stocks itself, how it all plays out is, you're investing in, I would like to say investing in fundamentally strong, valuable stocks. When you're investing in fundamentally strong, valuable stocks, in terms whereby you're investing in stocks that based on research and based on valuation. Ayobami, you could talk more on that after this conversation anyway, but based on valuation of stocks and companies, you're seeing great prospects in which you know that at the end of the day, this is where I feel a certain company should be. But now, to truth be told, looking at the yielding environment is the return in the fixed income market. Looking at the yielding environment in the fixed income market, Ayobami, please, you could just help me iterate. How much is, or what's the rate on a 1-year T-bill as of now? That's a 1-year treasury bill.
It's less than 3%, about 2.9, thereabout.
That's 3.9. And then an incentive for people to come into the market today, and there are 2 ways in which you can make money from the stock market. One is called the capital appreciation. Capital appreciation means I buy this pen for 5 naira and I don't want to sell this pen for 3 naira. I'm going to be losing money. I want to buy this pen for 5 naira and I want to sell this pen for 10 naira. So I can get a 5 naira spread, right? But now there's something also when you invest in stocks, you get good dividends. Not all companies pay these dividends, but you're investing in companies that you know that they pay good dividends, although you know that your dividends, it's a function of the amount of money you're making. So what that means is an incentive because I can just come up today and then buy something and then I get some dividends. That's even higher than what a treasury is going to give you 1 year. That's an incentive for me to come into the market to buy stocks.
Yeah. So yesterday I was also reading an article. A friend sent an article to me and they were talking about how, in investing in stocks is probably the only way you can become a billionaire in Cook. And that is because, for fixed income investment, your only income that you get as interest payments. But for stocks, the upside is almost unimaginable. Take, for example, I don't know if you've been to stock.
You said what? I didn't hear you. What you said?
Tesla went from 200. I said, I don't know if you've seen Tesla, if you've been following Tesla.
Oh, no, Tesla. Yes, of course. Yes, I have.
Yes. So Tesla went from about $211 to almost $2,000 in a year. Although that is like, it doesn't happen every time, but people who else the stock at $211, they are rolling in money right now. So that's one of the opportunities that stock provide. And of recent, I don't know if people are just coming to that realization. There has been a particular level of interest in stocks. Almost every other week, somebody texts me and says, "Oh, I have more stocks. Should I buy?" So I can see that, younger people are getting.
That's happening because I explained using a value. The people who are coming, the only natural way people will understand this thing is, just understand the value of what you have. I buy an iPhone today. I'm not buying the phone because I want to use it now. I know the value what that phone is going to bring to me. Just understanding the value. And then so many people asking this question that they want to come invest in the market is because they see the value of these things after the pandemic. Because after the pandemic, that's when you're going to be getting the vaccine for the corona. And I keep telling people, although there are other oil shots like oil shots and all that, but once you have a situation whereby you're investing in a valuable equity or a stock, you're good to go. There you are.
All right. So, you're talking about valuable equity. You're talking about fundamentally strong stocks. So if I'm just coming into the market, or I come to you and say, Chibuzor, you know what, I have this amount of money and I'm trying to put it in stocks, which stocks would you recommend? Like, what does your portfolio look like now? And which stocks do you think are going to, Pardon?
Do you mean my personal portfolio?
Yeah, your own personal portfolio. What does it look like now?
Why do you want to get what's my personal portfolio? You want to emulate, you're going to pay for that.
You've been talking about value, and I want to see the stocks that you consider valuable.
Sure. Okay, so I am someone that's just got into the market for the first time, right? Now, if for someone coming to the market for the first time, I would tell you to only invest in stocks that have valuable equities, right? And then have long prospects. Long prospects in the sense that you definitely, I'm coming to the market to buy this thing. And I know I'm investing in medium to long term, right? The first one is I'll go to the consumer goods, where I'll invest in Nestle PLC. It's a stock that I know vividly that has, even before a couple of us were born, people have been investing in this equity. And then you can see great prospect on the equity, not because of it's a company that has to do with products that have to do with necessity products, but it's a company that has great prospects of moving. The second one is Dangote Cement, right? These are companies that I know, that we know. I remember you are smiling, that we know, that have prospects to be able to grow over the years. And then aside from them even having great prospects to grow over the years, these are companies that pay dividends.
Okay.
So aside me getting I buy at X, I sell at Y to be able to make up profits, I'm getting something free of charge just by investing in that company. So I may never mention. I'm only mentioning 3. If you want to,
you mentioned 3. I have to pay to know the stocks that are in your portfolio. Now, wow, Shaka expensive. Anyway,
okay. The third one, I would choose the third one for a solid for someone coming to the market as well. I already mentioned Nestle. I mentioned Dangote Cement. MTN. Yes, MTN. MTN is a great one because I feel out of 10 people in the room, 7 people have the MTN. MTN was the first that came into Nigeria, and you can see great prospects of the markets in the company. The company is doing variously based on revenue more than even the banks are doing, and you can see the company's structure is solid, and then you can see an increase in revenue, and that is the profit as well. So it's a good company. So I go with MTN, Dangote Cement, and Nestle PLC. Yeah, those are the 3 I'll go with.
All right. So quick story: when coronavirus started and it seemed like the market was crashing, Chibuzor will come to my desk at the office and he will shout, "Go and buy stocks now, go and buy now." I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, relax. We don't even know what's going to happen. We don't know if all of us are going to die. But eventually I yielded and I actually invested, although not in any of the stocks I mentioned. And so far, since then, my portfolio has been up like 30%. I think that's the best decision I made with my money this year. The only regret is that I didn't put more money into the market. So sometimes when you spot opportunities, it's also very important for you to take opportunity as soon as possible. And before now, I recently cleaned up my portfolio. Before I invested during the pandemic, I invested in a particular stock, and I didn't take time to.
What stock is that? You can mention the name. What stock? What you don't mention the name. You mention the sector.
Oh, banking sector. But before now, I had some stock in some industry, and I don't want to mention the name of stock, and because I don't want to give you investment recommendation, because I've not done enough research on that particular stock. And that's the problem. I didn't do enough research. I didn't do enough consultation. And I lost a lot of money. I lost over 80% of my money. I wanted to cry. And because of that, I had PTSD. So when Chibuzor comes to my desk, you shout and invest. That's why the fact I'm an equity research analyst, I still had PTSD. And, I was being cautious.
Hello?
But, hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Yes, so I was being cautious. But the thing is that people make mistakes, and I'm very sure that you've made mistakes before. So can you share some of the mistakes that you've made, things that you want people to look out for, your tips for people who are just starting out, generally things to avoid and things they should look out for?
Okay, now, I would like to say something, right? I started investing very young. And then I've seen people as well investing old and getting it wrong. That doesn't mean, so this investing thing, it has to do with understanding very well. Now, the first thing is this: investing in stocks. Remember you're investing in the company, right?
Yes.
In a company. You're trying to invest in the company. So the first thing is this: you have to understand the kind of company in which you're investing in, right? Aside from understanding the kind of company you're investing in, the second thing is, okay, I want to invest in the telecommunication sector. Why? Oh, I feel like, this is whereby people put up monies. I mean, during the pandemic, you could see so many people buying up data. And then you can see after the pandemic, not really, the pandemic is still on, but when talking about Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, but when you could see there was an easing of the lockdown, you could see that in the second quarter of their result, you could see that there was a spike in their revenue in terms of data. And data usage was bulk of the revenue. Now you see, MTN, that means by the end of the year, I feel, okay, in 6 to 12 months, or even a year, and I want to just invest in these stocks. I know I'm not going to get it wrong because I know that they make good money. That's the first thing, understanding the kind of equity you want to get into. The second thing is, what kind of risk individual am I? Are you a risk-averse person? A risk-averse person is someone that I don't really like much of a risk. The second thing is, I'm a risk taker. That means I very want to be trading, not investing. What that means is I want to be going in and out. I always tell, if someone comes into the market, and the mistake I'm going to really reiterate again is be stable. Be very, very stable. You come into the market, you want to buy some good stocks, have a prospect that I want to do this thing for a longer term. And you have, like, let me use, for example, you have every month you get 100,000, for example. You take a percentage of every percentage of that 100,000 a month, and then you keep buying it little by little over the years, and it keeps increasing what you have. The important thing to note again that I didn't note when I started investing was diversification.
Okay.
Diversification entails whereby, I want to use an example. I don't want to use eggs. Eggs is too random. Okay, let me use eggs anyway. So I have a basket, and then in that basket, I have 12 eggs, right? Mm-hmm. I want to put 12 eggs in that same basket, and I assume that at the end of the day, it's going to grow. What I want to do is I want to take probably 6 eggs and keep it in 6 different places, because I understand that I want to give an ideology, Ayobami. So, for example, you have 100,000, like I said.
Yes.
If you share 100,000 into 10 places, Ayobami, how much is one tranche? 10,000.
Yes.
So, if I put 10,000 into one basket, right, and that basket does 10%, and each of those remaining 9 baskets does 10%. In a portfolio, to be honest, I've actually made 100%. That's the key of diversification, because me putting my money, or me putting all the 10 eggs into one basket wouldn't make me get the 100% which I'm looking for. Because at the end of the day, even if you get to a level that you want to sell, you can't even sell by because the market is run by demand and supply. So you can't even sell that what you want to sell at 10%, at 100%. So the first one is understand what you're going into. The second thing is know the kind of risk you are. The third one is diversification. The fourth one is always watch the news, read papers, know what's going on around you. That's very, very important because remember you're investing in companies that are going around. No, what happens here is in investing in the stock market, information is very, very key. It's key because you turn on your TV in the morning and you see something about inflation, interest rates. All those things have to do with or are positively skewed with whatever you're doing. So you have to keep your eyes on the news, watch the news, read the papers, and that's all. I think those 4 points should go. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for the for the tips, Chibuzor. Chibuzor mentioned that it's possible for him to make 100%. Yes, it is possible. Some people have made 100% return. Look at the people that invested in a stock like Tesla at 211, and they have over $2,000 now. But the thing is that it doesn't always happen, and don't fall for the trick that you get 100%. I think that investing is a journey.
Yeah.
You won't. Sometimes you lose money actually, and sometimes you make money. Sometimes not a lot. Sometimes you make a lot of money. And don't let anybody tell you that they are going to double your investment. If you see any advert that says United Capital doubling investment, I beg, run. Just carry your bag and run because they are going to scam you. The return is not promised, it's not fixed, but there are a lot of prospects. And to another point that Chibuzor mentioned, that you have to be informed, know what is going on. I think it's also important that you pick a broker that will do that work on your behalf. Some brokerage companies offer, site services. At United Capital, if you decide to register through, if you decide to start trading through us, or if you decide to pick us as your broker, it's a nice platform. I wake up as early as 6 to pick out the news that are important to you and for you to have daily insight. So there are some people that are doing the hard job of finding, the important information for you so that, you can make the right investment decisions. And I realized that we've not even spoken about how you actually go about buying the stocks. I just mentioned a broker. So Chibuzor, what are the first steps? I want to assume that I've not been in the market at all. Yeah, explaining to a secondary school student, how do I start trading or how do I start investing?
So the first thing is the investor platform is a seamless platform. It's a platform that it's an all-in-one platform. It's very seamless. Now, you said the secondary school, we're all in the millennial age, right? So I assume that someone who has either an Android phone or an iOS phone will be able to go into your Play Store or your Apple Store to be able to download the app, Invest Now. Now, when you get in the app, it's very seamless. You open an account. After opening an account, you open a stock trading account. After opening an account, it takes you where you can be able to fund your account. After funding your account, because our market is a pre-funded market. Pre-funded means you cannot buy on credit. You have to pay before you can buy. It's a pre-funded market. What that means, so after funding your account, then the market opens every day by 10 a.m. and the market closes every day at 2:20 p.m. So what that means is, if I'm a client in Nigeria and I'm rushing to buy my stock today, and I want to buy my stock at 9:30, it might not go through, it won't go through. But at 10 is when the market opens. That means based on demand and supply, it comes up together to be able to know what's going on. So it's seamless. You go on stock trading, you click up the stock, you see the column, it comes down, you see the different variety of stocks, and then you already have great advice from the research team, because at United Capital, we have great research that will be able to advise. Ayobami, why are you smiling? So advise you on various stocks you can be able to buy and then get up good returns as well. So it's just to go there. When you click on the stock, you put the volume you want to buy, the units, you put the price, you put the different orders. Either you put a good to date order. A good to date order means is that you have to please manage its live to a particular date. Either you put a market order. A market order, it hits the best price in the market, or you hit the good to order. That means it's either it goes today or it doesn't go tomorrow. It's very, very much seamless. But for people who don't really understand how to do this, you can able to reach out to any of the customer service team for help. It's very seamless.
Yeah. So yes, the customer service team, the research team, will provide necessary support to help you in this investment journey that you're about to start. And so I can see that some people are asking questions about which stock is a good stock to buy, which stock is a good stock to sell. And we also provide, investment recommendation. Abraham Ola said, I'm currently having issues with using investment platforms to trade stocks. Currently investing in the MMF and bond fund, which has been fine so far. Yes, so you can reach out to our customer service team. It's good that you have a diversified portfolio. That's really, that's really nice. Someone said, Ayomide David said, Tesla share prices high, cost of market hype and effect the stock bubble. Well, that's another thing entirely. If it's fairly valued and if it's undervalued, Chibuzor mentioned earlier that value is everything, and it's important for you to see value. So whatever it is you're paying for, are you seeing the value in it? I've not carried out the valuation on Tesla. If that is your assumption, and that means that you do not see value, then you shouldn't invest in that type of stock. Ovi Arhore said, what is your take on Guinness stock? I'm stuck at entry price of 16.5 kobo. What is your advice for me? Sell or wait for a possible future rise? So the thing is, pardon?
You want to take that?
Well, okay.
Go on.
So what is, if you're expecting a future rise, what's going to be the reason why there's going to be an increase in price? I know that for businesses in, the brewery industry, they were deeply struck by the pandemic, mainly because, there's no party. I've not been to any party since December. I'm sad. There's been no party, so people are not buying beer. You're not drinking as much beer because you're at home. Sorry?
Hopefully the vaccine comes out before then.
Oh, more vaccine should come out because I really want to go to party. Well, that's like the side. For Guinness, yes. So, the brewery industry has been deeply affected. It means that, after the pandemic, they will most likely pick up. So you should look at all those things. Are you willing to wait till that time? What's the competitive landscape? We have a recommendation on Guinness stock. You can check our website. We have a number of reports that we've written on, different stocks that we cover. So you can go to United Capital PLC and click on research. You see the company updates. So you'll be able to read more and arm yourself with enough information to make that decision.
For you.
So yes, to make that decision for you and see if you're willing to wait till when Corona will end and prices will most likely increase. But who knows when Corona will end? Those are all the things that you need to put into consideration. But yes, we have our target price and we have our outlook for those stocks, so you can check the website. Yes, I'm here. So Chibuzor, tell me, how much have you lost in the market?
To be very honest, do you mean my own personal fund?
Yes, your own personal fund.
I can't count, sorry. I'm sorry about that. But now I've lost money. But one thing I would want to advise people listening to me right now is you can't always get it right. You can't. I promise you. Warren Buffett never got it right. Richard Gardner of Wall Street never got it right. But what I'm saying is, make sure that whatever you're gaining is more than whatever you're losing. That's the secret of investing. In stocks, because stocks don't give a guaranteed return. It's run by two factors called demand and supply. But make sure that you're investing in companies that are solid, fundamentally sound. I keep saying that. And then aside that, make sure that whatever you are gaining, whatever you're gaining is more than whatever you're losing. That's it. But I can't recollect how much, but that means that whatever I've gained is more than whatever I've lost. That's what.
Shizu.
This is something I did. This is something I why would I would make. I'm not like a king in this thing, but we're all learning. But like I know that whatever you are getting is more than whatever you're losing. That's
yeah. So yes, to be honest, you can make some mistakes at the beginning. I've mentioned my own example, and the money I gained after I decided to enter the market again has made me so proud. And I've been so happy. I'm willing to try out, other stocks and broaden my portfolio or diversify my portfolio. Check into the telecommunication industry and so on and so forth. We'd like to hear from you. What are the questions that you have? What are the questions you have? Let's answer your questions. What are the things that you'd like to know? Okay. Yeah. So, well, another thing I would like to ask from you, Chibuzor, is, a lot of people are currently scared about Naira devaluation, etc., etc. And people are saying, put your money in dollars. Why should I buy Nigerian stocks that are in Naira as opposed to, looking for dollar funds and just putting my money in dollars?
No. Ayobami, you're a research analyst.
Yes.
The Nigerian market is a market that is highly volatile. Yes or yes? Yes.
Well, yes.
It's highly volatile in the sense that you can make up the good monies here. But don't get me wrong, if they're going to devalue the Naira, I have to watch what I'm saying here. If they are going to devalue the Naira, investing in Nigerian stocks is not a bad one. That doesn't mean at the end of the day, you can't still invest in stocks that are in the US, in the UK, other stock markets. But what I'm saying is the Nigerian market is oversold, purely oversold and undervalued. So I don't want to say it's a win-win because I am a licensed broker and I'm not even guaranteed to give guarantees. But it's a win-win because the value of these companies have depreciated so bad.
So there's a lot of upside.
There's a lot of upside, of course, a lot of upside. I'm not saying, remember I said, returns aren't guaranteed. But there's a lot of upside in investing in the markets. There's a lot of upside from investing in the markets.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, investing in Nigerian stocks does not stop you from investing in dollars. With the InvestNow platform, it doesn't stop you. With InvestNow, you can do asset management, and on our asset management, we have an Eurobond fund, which is dollar denominated. So, do dollars, do pounds from somewhere else, do a bit of Naira. You can even add, CDs to it. Just diversify the portfolio and the currency, to be honest.
Diversify that portfolio to different asset classes. When you have different asset classes, it helps to hedge your risk and then improve your return in your portfolio. Yeah.
Yes. It seems like we have a question from Bamidele Ugumola.
All right, shoot.
I can't see the question yet. Sorry.
Just take your time, it's okay.
Okay. She said, what would you say are the factors to consider when buying a stock?
Okay. All right, so hi Bamidele. So the first factor is D and S, demand and supply, right? Demand and supply is very key because when there is a high demand of something, the price goes up. And then when there is a high supply of something, the price comes down. So if you already know, based on the tips I gave earlier on, if you already know, I want to buy a stock today, you already went through the 4 tips in which I gave. The next thing is, I'm on InvestNow right now, and I come to the market and I want to buy something. The first thing I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be looking at the demand and the supply at that particular trading day. That's going to help me to determine where exactly is this stock going today. Where the Nigerian market is volatile in the sense that a stock going up today can be the one coming back tomorrow, and the one coming down today can be the one going up tomorrow. It's not a market, it's not a one-sided market, it's a two-sided market. And then what it entails is understanding the demand and supply of the stock at particular day. That's one. The second one is information. I said something about reading the news. When a market whereby information rules, and then you have to put your ears in the ground, like I said, a factor in which you're investing in a company. So for example, I'm investing in Chibuzor PLC or Chibuzor Ayobami PLC, right? And we have it. I want to say amen. We own a company called Chit, right? And then at the end of the day, we make $1 billion in terms of our revenue. And then maybe last year, we did 500 million. Dollars. Okay, $500 million last year. And then we do $1 billion this year. But at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of that year, of this year, we didn't know we were going to make $1 billion. Now, you invested in Chibuzor and Ayobami PLC at 2 naira. And all of a sudden, you already know that the company is probably doing well. You don't know because nobody knows the future of these companies. Nobody knows. But you invest in the company because you feel based on valuation and you feel that the company is doing some basic things. Maybe we're a manufacturing company that just built up a nice plant, or we have different plants around Africa. So it shows that the company is growing. And then you invest in my company. What that means is, if Chibuzor and Ayobami PLC does $1 billion today, that share price in the market is going to go up because we double our revenue that we did from last year. That's information. So you need to put your ears on the ground. And then if you read this news, if you wake up in the morning at 6 a.m., most of the papers or like blogs or financial blogs always post these things quite early in the morning. That's for a reason, because they want people to be able to see this information well. And then the market does not have, based on regulatory, the market doesn't do a situation whereby information is herded or something. Everybody is limited. Everybody is unlimited information. Everybody has to see this information because it's an information that drives the stock price of these things that are doing. So when you be able to, listen to Chibuzor and Ayobami PLC, for example, when you see companies that have good prospects, you quickly buy it, and then you buy it, and the market takes it up for you, and then you sell it to them. That's how you can be able to make up these monies. Then I mentioned demand and supply. I mentioned information. The third one I want to give is a strategy in which I committed myself, right? And I want to share it as well. The first one is, it's called the EEG analysis. Entry, exit, and greed. Entry, exit, and greed. Double EG. What it means is, for me coming into to buy a stock, these are one of the factors in which you consider for yourself. You should know what entry price, what price I want to go into that stock. What price do I want to exit that? That's what price do I want to enter, what price do I want to exit. And then a factor that everybody has to deal with is greed. I buy something at 2 naira. It gets to 4 naira today. I say, no, let it get to 10 naira, I'm going to sell it. You know what price you're going to do it. So you know, don't let the greed sentiment come to you. You should know what price I want to go in and what price I want to go out. The greed factor is going to be there, but don't let it get into your subconscious state. That's my point. I think this is all for me.
Okay. So if I can recap what you just said, understand the company that you're investing in and pay attention to the information. So in understanding the company, I think you should also understand the industry that you want to invest in. Understand how the industry is faring in that particular country, and don't be greedy. Greed is terrible. Don't be greedy. So yeah, that's a summary of what he has said. We have a few questions from. Yes. So from Charles Ajayi, he said, what are the precautions one can take in reducing or limiting their losses, from stock markets?
You said?
What are the precautions one can take in reducing or limiting their loss?
Now, we already talked about this. Number one, my boss, diversification. That is what would help reduce this loss. I explained this. You can be losing in point A at the beginning in point B. It happens that way, literally in this market. And imagine you have 100,000 there and share it into 2. The one you're gaining will help to cover for the one you're losing. So make sure you diversify your portfolio. That's the answer to this question.
Okay. Diversify your portfolio.
Diversify your portfolio, please. That's key. That's very, very key.
All right. Thank you very much, Chibuzor.
Yeah.
So Pearl said, how far can you forecast for technology, taking into account the extinction of typewriters from the entrance of PCs, that's personal computers? In about a decade, typewriting companies were next to useless. So I think the summary of our question is that, for technology, how far can we see into the future? Because things are rapidly changing. And today you think that a particular technology, let's say Apple Watches are relevant. What if in the next 10 years, we have things like chips and companies put chips in our body that we don't need watches for? I'm daydreaming. But yeah, if you get what the question.
Okay, so the thing is, well, this question doesn't relate to what we're talking about, but we can try to fix it in. I would like to bring an ideology in, is that the world is changing, right? The world is changing. 10 years ago, yes, 10 years ago, you people looking at me here literally wouldn't believe this could happen. And 10 years ago, people investing in the stock market literally had to go to a broker, to an online platform called Invest Now, a seamless online platform that can help you do this seamlessly in your room. But it has to be between 10 a.m. to 2:20 p.m. That's how technology has gone through. I don't want to use that ideology to do that. I don't want to go too deep into technology because that's not what I'm talking about here. But I feel based on the technology in the stock market, trust me, I literally don't know what the future brings, but I feel the market has got to do a lot of algorithm trading. It's a lot of things to be done in the market. The market is still quite very young in terms of technology. So I feel there's a lot to be done. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I would like to say that, well, I think Pearl is asking because maybe she wants to invest in technology stocks. I think that, for any company you're going to invest in, bear in mind that you're giving them your money. The same way you wouldn't give your friend your money, except you really trust them, except you are very sure that, they will return the money with interest if you people have discussed interest. That's the same way you should be very careful of knowing the company that you invest in. Look at those companies, especially companies in technology. What's their reaction or their body language towards innovation, for example? The world has really changed. You see a lot of phone makers, using eye camera power, putting things like that in their phone. There's now facial identification. How are they quick to adopt new technology? So for the typewriter company, for example, when they are saying that, pieces are coming into vogue, did they plan to, switch what they were producing from, let's say, typewriters to keyboards to be able to support the new industry that is developing? So those are also things that you should look at. How fast are these companies quick to accept, innovation? How quick are they? What is their change managers like? What is their board and the people directing the company? What are they like? Are they people who are innovative and visionary? Yeah. So those are actually small details that you should also pay attention to. All right, shout out to Pearl and Ayomide for the conversations that you guys are having in the comment section. We really appreciate the interaction. I mean, it's really lovely to see that you people are interacting and discussing important things, discussing investing and how to move forward. Chase that money, chase that bag. That's the answer for 2020 and going forward. Thank you so much. So we are almost at the end. We have like 30 minutes left, and I would like to reiterate the fact that you can invest through Invest Now platform, and it gives you a wide, like so many options of stocks, so many options of various investment vehicles. And also, we do not double money in 45 minutes. It's really important that you pay attention to this. As much as you're trying to, achieve financial freedom and reach your financial goals, it's important that you do not fall into the arms of, scammers. There are lots of them now. And I'm saying this often because people are so quick to achieve financial freedom. So when they tell you that they are offering you a 100% return, you might want to consider it. Please don't consider it because your money will just disappear. And also, you can reach out to us on our social media platform, Instagram, United Capital PLC, at Twitter, at United Cap. And also, you can send us an email at info@unitedcapitalplcgroup.com. Yes, so reach out to us on our social media pages. We have a question from Senere Jotun. How can you spot a stock that has potential for sweet returns? A Japan, for instance, that moves between 0.2 and 0.30. More. So for the penny stocks, you have to be careful because a slight
Hello?
movement.
Hello, so
Hello?
you get that you're breaking. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
You're breaking,
Yes, I
sorry.
can hear you.
I didn't hear you. I can hear you, but you're
Okay,
breaking.
so Dotun is asking that how can you spot a stock that has potential for sweet returns? A Japan, for instance, that moves between 20 kobo to 30 kobo. I mean, moving from 20 kobo to 30 kobo is like 33.3%. But does it make it a good stock? Does it make it juicy and something you want to put your money in the long term? So how do you spot stocks that have the potential of giving you big returns?
Okay, Bam, can you hear me? I don't know if I'm breaking, but you were breaking, but if I got you correctly, hello?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hi, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hi, Chibuzor, I can hear you. Hi, Chibuzor. Hello. Please, can anybody hear me? All right. So Dotun was asking that how do you spot stock with sweet returns? And well, Chibuzor was about to answer that question before we had network problem. So like we said, for investing, I mean, if you're not trading, for investing, you should always look at value. So, and one thing you should also be careful about is that for the penny stocks, a slight movement will mean, a significant amount of money, a significant amount of return or upside. So for example, a Japan, someone is 20 kobo. So with 200,000, I can easily move the prices. So it can be just a small player moving prices or someone that has a lot of money to play with moving prices. So the next thing, the price is at 30 kobo. That's about 33.3%. No, actually about 50% returns. And with a 50% returns, you might be interested to see, oh my God, this is actually, sweet returns, and you might put your money. And then the next day, the person that's taking the stock decides to come and dump it. So for penny stocks, I usually tell people to be very careful about the penny stock, except you are deeply convinced about, the value that the company has to offer in the long term. So for Japan, I do not cover Japan, so I cannot say on the spot that you should invest your money in Japan. But I would say that, for penny stocks, you should be very careful because the returns or the price movements can be very deceptive. It could be some people playing in the markets. That's one. Two, slight change means significant return because money seems like a lot of money. But I think that I've seen in the news recently that Japan is trying to move from the service that they are providing to another type of service. So that's something you should definitely check out. Like I said, we don't cover Japan, but what we've been saying to money is that.
Hello?
Hi, Chibuzor.
Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, I think I had like a problem with my network. I'm very sorry about that. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
All right, so I was talking. I think you were talking about Japan, and I heard you from the last sentence you said. You were saying something about they were trying to go into a new business, right?
Yeah, they're trying to move into a new business.
Sometime last year, they bought they actually bought some subsidiary in the US. I think that's what actually made the stock had some great balance and you see some more liquidity in the stock. But for from stock like Japan, I'd like to say something. It doesn't really have a great float. Float means that it doesn't really have much buyers and sellers in the market. But you can only see that the lows and the highs is releasing like some 30 kobo and then 50 kobo. So it's not the band is not really there. Although it's a great stock for a long-term potential investor, because the fact that the company acquired some of the business in the US sometime last 2 years, that does not necessarily mean the company can actually do it in the next 4 to 5 years. So I think it's a stock for a long-term play. Yeah, if you ask me. Yeah.
Well, interesting. Thank you so much, Chibuzor. We have one more question. So we're about rounding up, but we have a few questions. Anthony asks, does the current price of MTN, Dangote Cement, and Nestle, are they good entry price? Are the current prices of MTN, Dangote, and Nestle good entry prices? From our stock recommendation calendar or our stock recommendation schedule, we have a buy rating on Nestle and pardon?
On all the two of them.
We have buy recommendation on Nestle and Dangote Cement. So yes, I think they are good entry prices, especially because these are dividend paying stocks, and you have decent dividend yield on them, and they have huge potential. Dividend yield is something I personally look out for, because for investing in fixed income, for example, that you're getting your interest. For investing in stock, you can't be waiting for forever for the stock price to appreciate. Yes, you're in it for capital appreciation, but in the process, you should be able to enjoy some of the benefits of investing in those companies. And it is, your entitlement, if you're a stockholder, to get dividend when the companies pay dividends. So particularly, I'm interested in dividend paying stocks. I don't even bother investing in stocks at all that do not have good dividend payments history. Like, please, I beg. I'm not in for that. The dividend is very important. Please, please, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Yeah. So I think that we're coming to an end. We have 5 minutes left. So if you have any questions, Chibuzor, you're also free to ask me questions. Is there anything you would like to know about my stock portfolio?
What's your stock portfolio like? It's probably in billions.
Billions, okay. I won't tell you the amount. But
what do you have in there?
Okay, so I have just 2 banks. At the
Why
moment,
all banks? What's a banking person?
Yes, now, because I can see clearly. These are companies that I'm familiar with. So it was easy for me to make that decision to invest in those banks. And well, there are 2 tier 1 banks and they pay dividend very well. They pay dividend. And at the time that I bought it, the dividend yield on my entry price was very scrumptious. It was sweet. It was sweet. So if anything, this year, that has been my highlight for this year, for deciding to, go back into stock trading or stock investing and buying those stocks. So they are GT Bank and Zenith Bank.
Good.
Yeah.
Great stocks, if you ask me. Great stocks. Don't forget us when you make the money.
I should be telling you that. I should be telling you that. But yes, beyond making money, there's also, providing security for your future.
Oh, sure.
Because yes, so you're never too young to start investing. You might be thinking that retirement, this and that. One of my mentors was telling me a story of someone that invested in Nestle when Nestle was still relatively new, and I think the person bought
a long time ago.
The person bought Nestle as about 18 naira, but the person believes that there's prospects. Nestle is now over 1,000 naira, but the person wouldn't sell.
Even got originally the stock's like 1,450, 1,500, but because of the pandemic, it's like 1,200. But it's still a very, very good stock, and the stock felt like 700, 800. Because I was talking to a colleague of mine like a couple of months back, and it was like, Chibuzor, how is this happening? Because if I buy a Nessa at 800,
yeah.
But yeah, so everything is all based in value. values. Just
Yeah. So the person bought Nestle at about 18 naira. Now that it's over 8,000, the person wouldn't sell. The dividend that he's making is enough for him to, take his grandchildren and travel. So if you see value, please grab it, grab the value so that you can live the jet life and cruise life. Said, how can I get your weekly stock recommendation? You can check it. Well, if you use our investment platform, it comes as an add-on service. Would really recommend that you do that. You can also find that on our website. I mean, with InvestNow, you get it in your email every day, every week, as soon as it's out. But you can also check our website, our weekly investment views. Under research, you see our weekly stock recommendation. Yes. So, I mean, that's you can also subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. Just click subscribe button, so that you can get notifications when we have new programs coming up. And we present really informative and really enlightening, stuff like this, good content that will help you through your journey. And you can also look out for our next session. I'm very sure that it's going to be as interesting as this one, or even more interesting. There's so much to learn. I kid you not, there's actually a lot to learn. A lot to learn and a lot to grab from people who are industry experts. I do not claim to be an industry expert, but you can see Chibuzor. Look at what Chibuzor is telling us. Look at the lessons that we've learned from Chibuzor. Now I've learned entry exit grid. So look at the entry price that you're looking at. What exits are you going to exit the market? Once it hits that exit price, just exit and don't be greedy.
Yeah.
For greed is the sole problem for a lot of things. Not when you're too greedy, you get yourself into trouble. So that's one thing I've learned. Another thing I've learned today is that, always be informed, keep an eye on the stocks that you're invested in, and diversify. Diversification is very important. Honestly, I don't like the fact that the stocks I'm invested in are just the banking sector stocks. I'll definitely look into telecommunication and spread my portfolio into that as well to make sure that I have balance. So if the old if the old banking industry is going to face a problem, I shouldn't be affected too much because I'm also invested in another industry. So the diversification is not only the asset classes, but also the industry that you're invested in. Yeah. What else? I've mentioned it a number of times. We do not double money. If somebody's claiming to double your money, please run for your life because they're about to steal your money. And follow us on our Instagram, on our Twitter. Tweet at us if you have any issues, if you have questions. We'll definitely reply to you. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. We have another question. Can you have a recording from this presentation?
You said?
Bella wants to know if you can have a recording. Yes, the video will be available on our YouTube page.
I think it's available.
Yeah, the video will be available on our YouTube page. So thank you so much for sharing insights today, Chibuzor. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Shout out to Pearl and Ayobami for the conversation that you guys are having in the comment section. And thank you to everyone that is asking questions. We really, really appreciate it. So please, would love it. Would love to hear your investment story. Would love to see that you've started this journey and would actually love to go on the journey with you. So sign up to Invest Now, ask us questions, reach out to us, send us emails. If anything is confusing, there's definitely somebody that will be able to help you, walk through the process. And stay in touch, stay connected. We love you. Bye.
Bye, Ayobami. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Chibuzor.